the never-ending dreams and the Wonderland Thieves. A theme park named Australia's Wonderland. Just another summer weekend adventure for my best friends and I, located in Sydney's Rooty Hill, a train trip away from home. The place was massive, having multiple themed sections from Hanna-Barbera Land to Pirate Cove, hundreds of rides, seasonal attractions, the biggest badass roller coasters such as the Bush Beast, Space Probe, River Rampage and so many more. It took up the entire day going on each ride. We had the most fun during the Easter holidays as everyone would go to the Sydney Easter show, leaving the ride lines empty, so we would run around going on every ride several times, and before long even the excitement of thrill rides had become mundane. On this one day we had gone on every ride at least twice, played hide and seek in each theme section of the park, using up all-out energy before lunch, so when lunchtime rolled around we were starving hungry, and us being children had totally neglected to pack something to eat. At first we went to the donut stall and asked if they would give us some free donuts or at least some cinnamon sugar dust, and so we were thankful when she gave a brown paper bag with cinnamon dust in the bottom, but holy shit, that stuff makes you thirsty, so now we're desperately thirsty, drinking water from the tap on the wall. We were all still very hungry. I can only tell you what I remember, and that is, I was standing there inside one of the many candy and gift shops inside the park, looking at the display of hyper-colored candy bars illuminated under the spotlights, shelves on all walls from floor to ceiling fully loaded with stock, rows of delicious chocolate bars, benches topped bouquets of lollies, pops, jars of gobstoppers and assorted hard candies. That one chocolate bar I was staring at slipped up my jacket sleeve. Maybe at first it was a joke to test the boundaries, but seeing that my action of attempted theft went unnoticed, another chocolate bar somehow followed the other one up my sleeve. Still being unnoticed, the excitement of being caught kicked in the adrenaline and override the feeling of hunger. So we went to another shelf under the fluorescent light, fiddling some candies and chalk drops. I, not so, obviously, take a glance over towards the checkout person, seeing them paying no attention to us, me, myself, and I, as they scanned the next customer's goods. It was nerve-wracking, rattling my knees, thinking it was just simple walkout. I see my sister and her friend walk out through the glass doors. My friend walked out shortly after. I stood there like a guilty goose, hesitating to walk out. My best friend walked back and grabbed me by the arm and said, "You can't just stare at the stuff. Let's go and ask Mom and Dad for some money and we'll come back." The start of a relentless stealing spree with our following visit and every visit during those school holidays. That was until I had a dream about getting caught, a warning I did not listen to, and that next day, after a full day of thieving goods, in exactly the same shop and by the same looking shopkeeper, caught with the exactly same item I had dreamt of only just the night before. Wonderland and the joy of the life experience. 1. Best friend dressed up a girl to get in with my sister Wonder Pass, and let's just say he was successful. 2. The pirate ship, my first thrills ride at 9 years old. 3. The smell of the festivities. 4. The rides. 5. The 4 Thief Rat Pack. We were at such a young age, all ranging 14 to 11, if we weren't caught, we would have led criminal lives chasing free dreams in the shadows of life. 6. Dreaming of the day we got caught stealing in full detail the night before. I even told my father the morning of leaving. He said, "Well, you better not steal anything then." "Huh?" ended his statement with a question in his tone, eyeballing me across the yard as we all pilled in a car and left for another big day out at Australia's Wonderland. 7. I remember that I used to cry whenever the ad came on the TV with its catchphrase, "If only the world was Wonderland." And it wasn't boo-hoo, imagine if. One year when me and my sister received an annual Wonderland pass for Christmas. My sister and I had used the passes every weekend for months. Nicholas had heard the countless stories of endless adventures filled with adrenaline, fantasy and memorable moments, where we had ridden roller coasters well into the night, seen the summertime special themed island tributes to Halloween, dinosaurs, movies, the one-day loves they will never meet again, the opening of new rides. It was a Disneyland in the outlicks of suburbia. A place Nicholas could only imagine with the descriptive stories I had told him. One day when my sister was planning to go and stay over a friend's place, Nicholas overheard the conversations whilst we were playing Nintendo. His eyes light up with a thought. This thought would become an all-time memorable moment. In its development, his drive to succeed fuels an overwhelming confidence to support his actions and accomplishing the task he was now so determined to achieve. Nicholas leans over to me and quietly proposes we steal Natasha's Wonder Pass and we sneak out Saturday morning to go to Wonderland. His eyes as wide as fresh puppies. I agreed but had to state the obvious. Nicholas is a boy and my sister Natasha is a girl. So his plan has a massive hole. Unless Nicholas plans on dressing like a girl to get into Wonderland. Nicholas agrees to anything with his willingness to get into Wonderland. A mission begins. Nicholas sets out paper and pens drawing a map of house and all the rooms, grabbing action figures and Barbie dolls to enact the mission. I'll have to go to Uncle Kelly's to borrow my cousin's walkie-talkies, my cousin Micah's army outfits and snow masks. Oh, I could borrow's great-grandma's vocal box to disguise our voices. We need watches and torches. Nicholas rambled on in a frantic state. I just said hold that thought, I'll be back in a second. About 30 seconds later I came back into the room holding Natasha's Wonder Pass. Nicholas's went weak at the nace and asked in squeaky voice, how the hell did you do that? I said I just went up her door, knocked on it and asked I could borrow her pass for my girlfriend to come with me to Wonderland this weekend in Waller. Presto. Phase 1 completed. Now, Phase 2 of the mission, cover-ups and alibis. Nicholas required a dress and a makeover to successfully be convincing enough to pass through the gate, so he'd stolen his sister's 80s-style formal dress, a slim numbers silky ruby red with frilled flans running around the shoulder and matching the bottom edging in that classic retro disco look. Meanwhile I was creating a plan of transporting our soon-to-be transformed friend. Public transport is not an option. Mums doesn't drive, Dad's drunk and a homophobic. With minimal options we first asked our neighbor, which was just stupid, but we are desperate to get there. With only one option left we result in contacting Auntie Robin, and just to describe her by calling her the cool auntie is understatement of her personality being both awesome and overwhelming. Her obsession of youthful endeavors and denials of the biological clock can be embarrassing. Also it doesn't help she increased the speed aging with a fictional fountain of denial in every bottle that hit the recycling, but this is her way of life. Also she thinks her shit really doesn't stink. Side story. She rapidly cuts off a driver as they both pull into a service station, the guy honking, beeping and waving his fist, then the guy in the other car jumps out and said to Auntie Robin, "HUI lady, can I have an apology? I got kids in the car?" Auntie Robins turns and replied, "I don't know what you're talking about, mate, I didn't do anything wrong." The guy was quick in his remark. "Yeah, and I bet you think your shit doesn't stick either." Robin instantly remarks, "Actually no it doesn't, thank you," she said in her reaction. Us young kids sitting there in the car listening. I swear I was gonna wet myself in laughter and historical crying. As the guy tops it off with, "What does it smell like, roses?" he asked with humor, as he also burst into laughter. His children then slowly pull down their windows for us only to see they too are also laughing out loud to the point of tears. The sound light up the entire service station, bringing the attendee out to inspect. Just the clam finally came bringing silence. The attendee, little old maid is a Indian dwarf, rushes out in a rushed shuffle and broke the silence with, "Hey there buddy, what's going on there buddy?" We had tears of laughter and joy for a brief moment of pure bliss. Auntie paid for the fuel and rushed out. I swear she walked out with her bum cheeks clenched. We repeatedly laughed for days with only the mention of it. Weeks passed before I could ask, knowing Auntie being approachable. I asked, "Auntie, can I ask an odd question?" That's Sam hesitating but willing to ask. "Yes," Robin replied. "When you said that your poo doesn't stink at the service station arguing with that guy, ha ha ha, is it really true that your poo doesn't stink?" Sam laughed off the odd but also intriguing idea in the form of question. "Yes, Sam, it's true my poo doesn't stink, in fact I nearly don't poo at all," Auntie exclaimed proudly. Sam's face squiggled up in confusion. Auntie explained that she eats so healthy that her body uses all the nutrition that she puts into it, having a veritable diet of nature's best and only fresh, and if you want to eat a fish, get a fishing rod, preventing a daily, sometimes weekly use of the toilet for number twos. Sam was baffling with the conscript. "So you just don't get the feeling to go?" Sam asked. "Ah, that's right, and when I do, it's green like baby's poo," she said openly. "Thanks for the overshares, Auntie, really quality information," Sam giggled through gratitude. So now back to story. So Nicholas and I call Auntie from the home phone. Yes, she answers. We go to explain the plan in full glorious detail, the plan ahead. Excited and hopeful that Auntie would be in for mission after the frantic pleading of our briefing. Auntie screamed with excitement for at least 2 full minutes. Honestly, her scream turned into a squeal, as she agreed to not only to transport us but to also assist in the makeover, makeup and special effects she explained over the phone. The plan is unfolding and Wonderland is only days away. So now we had the list ticked, boxes crossed and pocket money to share. Days later at Auntie Robin's. Auntie having our party, jazz music on, wine glass in hand and cigarette picking through her fingers where a straw should be. The makeover took hours. Hours power eyeliner and a tone of hair sprayed throughout the short black wig fitted to Nick's head. The foundation thick and creamy. Lipstick, red to match the very impractical dress for Australia's wonder. Wearing white joggers was the only practical thing despite the lacy frilled socks as an 80s tribute to fashion. However, in this case we boldly challenge the question, is that a girl? Proudly walk tall without doubt, gain free entry into the land of dreams and wonder. Nicholas counts down to the big reveal of his transformation from behind the curtain. 3, 2, 1. He is now a convincing she. Heavy on green eyeshadow. But still a good-looking chick overall. Auntie proudly and loudly claiming her masterpiece of a creation brought to life. Is a girl's. She's alive, my creation, it's alive, I tell you it's alive. Auntie spraying the words out. Whilst balancing a glass of white wine in left hand, trying to raise it to her lips, flaying the right hand in front of her drunkenly expressive state. That was only seeming to increase. Wanting some insurance of transport after the makeover, we throw her glass of wine onto the grass while she was smoking. She didn't even notice. She just said, "Oh shit, that one went quick," going on to say, "He'll just have another before we go." Auntie stating with determination, "We'll another, and then one more." Not long after, Auntie is face down on the floor, crying about her former childhood lover. The possibilities of leaving for Wonderland tonight are zero. Nicholas was still committed to the course, still up all night, not moving an inch throughout the night to avoid messing the makeup. The wig and dress stayed by his bedside. Like a cowboy and his pistol, I swear he kept one eye open all night and watching his stuff in full anticipation the adventure to come. Sam awoke a few times during the night as well, and each time the eyelids would open the eyes were drawn to the makeup on Nicholas's face. "It's fucking happening." Finally, "Nicholas, we're going," Sam expelled in excitement. Nicholas replied, It's Nicky now, head flicking the wig back. With hand on hips. His intention to complete it was only minutes away. Approaching the gate's ticket collector guy pauses, holds his chin whilst looking at the computer information, turns and took one look at Nicholas, smile, shakes his head in a silent giggles and said, "That's a lot of effort for Wonderland, isn't it, Natasha?" hinting sarcasm. "Yes," Nick replies as a soft, fragile voice. Heart pounding, knees shaking, dry throat. The guy then leans over towards the gate, ever so discreetly opens it. As we pass through, I made eye contact with the attendant. He winks and said, "It be worth then effort then," smiling with disbelief and captivity, as it was an obviously fact that Nicholas was a male trying to look female, just to get into Wonderland. Then he simply went on with his job. We run later, slapping hand in a high five. We agree it's been awesome day already. Nick turns and says, "Okay, now I can take all this crap off?" Running the nearest bathrooms. Once there, Nicholas paused for a moment, then turns and asked innocently with worry and confusion, "Which one do I go in?" I swear time passed in slow motion for 3 minutes before the decision was to just run fast into the boys. Like right now, go, 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 Sam says with hast. We absolutely thrashed every ride, roller coaster, wheel, spinner, tipper, river of rampage ride there, including the pirate's ship. LOL, memories and laughter for life that still live on. Ryan Dillon B, 2025.